We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin.
And today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Kine Hawaiian, it is the hot mustard sauce. And you can see it looks a lot like the original hot sauce. There are some of these wonderful flecks of pepper in there, which is arguably my favorite thing about this sauce. No recommendations for food. Let's take a look at the old ingredient panel. So we have what is probably the Kine Hawaiian original sauce, which is cayenne, vinegar, and water, and salt. And then there's the addition of garlic, mustard, turmeric, paprika, brown sugar, pineapple juice. Pineapple juice was in the original as well. Pickled red chili, black pepper, spice, natural flavors, and xanthan gum. So, the idea here is to have I think they're going for like a sweet mustard, like a honey mustard, by way of cayenne, which is not a bad idea in concept. But like, we're getting rid of that restrictor cap right now. But like every other idea that's ever existed, in actual practice is where the rubber meets the road. And that is where this struggles as well. Okay, so you see it definitely pours like a regular cayenne. Very, very, it's super thin. It's not quite watery, but it actually is pretty close. So, in essence, what we kind of have here is a doctored up version of the Kine Hawaiian original sauce. You can see it does look a little bit paler orange, I would say. There are those nice flecks of pepper in there as well. Sauce looks good. I mean, I have no issue with that. You would expect it to have more of a lighter hue, I guess, with the yellow mustard in there as well. So, all right, let's get to the getting. Right away, we get a mustard hit, touch of sweetness on the back end, and then Louisiana style sauce just kind of comes roaring in there, and it's a bit sour, if I'm being honest. It is a little bit astringent, and combining mustard and cayenne style sauce is, I guess it's an idea. I don't know how good a one, but it is an idea. This one, with all the sweeteners, are clearly going for some sort of sweet honey mustard sauce. As I mentioned in the written review, which is available in the description below, the link to that, they just didn't go far enough. And I get you're trying to be Hawaiian themed with pineapple juice and that sort of that's sort of a thin thing as well. And the sauce is definitely, like I said, it is fairly runny. Not quite watery, but pretty close. And it's just not enough concentration of sweetness for me. And I think this if they would have just gone farther with the sweetness, a lot farther, you would have had, I think, something really quite good here. And this is a sound idea. I think the execution here is just, for me, it's a bit lacking. So, trying to find where this goes is another bit of a challenge. So what I got here is I've got some of these mini pretzel dogs, and I've got some chicken strips. because this doesn't have a distinct identity one way or the other, it's a little difficult to figure out where to place it. And so I'm just gonna try these two things: hot dogs, mustard. You've seen me eat this on the channel before. I wouldn't want mustard necessarily on chicken strips, but that is like yellow mustard. But I do like a good honey mustard, or sweet mustard, or a good Louisiana style with that. So I guess we'll see which one of these two is more successful, because this is, that's kind of the main identities here. It's sort of a yellow mustard with a bit of sweetener in it, and a straight Louisiana style canned sauce. So we'll start with the hot dogs. It does not work here at all for me. What's funny is, oh man, you can do quite a bit with hot dogs. They will tolerate a lot of astringency. For instance, if you have a kraut dog, right? Sauerkraut, which is, pickled cabbage with salt and vinegar and yellow mustard. To me, I like that combination in the right balance. And you do have a bit of a fine line there. You want to be able to have all three of those notes play together nice. So mustard, you have to just be a little careful on what you use. I like the black pepper, but that's really kind of the only thing I like as far as having it here. I'll finish these out though. They're on the right track. They just didn't go far enough. That's the thing here. I don't even think you necessarily need to change the ingredients. So much as just pineapple's lost again in this sauce. And I think it's just clearly there for the Hawaiian tie-in. Use the concentrate then. Dial up. There's no real depth to the sugar here, which is, I think, one of the dangers of getting away from honey. Because honey is a very robust sort of flavor usually. The sausage is different. It gives your palate more time to read it. Sugar and even brown sugar to an extent, definitely not the pineapple juice. They just don't do that. They don't have that sort of depth of flavor. And I think that's why they're kind of getting lost here. I think it works better here, but still not great. It's weird. Just strange. It's kind of, you almost have kind of competing flavors. Let's do this. It's just odd. I think if you're attempting this kind of sauce, you really have to embrace one or the other strong flavors more fully. There's potential here, but I really think they need to overhaul this sauce. And with the mustard in there, it kind of wrecks it for a lot of stuff. For a lot of stuff that I would normally use a cayenne Louisiana style sauce in, like creamy dishes, because I don't want yellow mustard in there. It's just too abrupt of a flavor. It's really, in its present form, just kind of out in no man's land. I'm actually hard to figure what to do with this. It'd probably be okay in burgers, but like the viscosity is no good for that. I feel like you put this on burgers or even hot dogs. Hot dogs it wasn't that good, but I feel like you put this on burgers, you're just gonna have a mess. It's a shame. But with some tweaking, this one is a very salvageable sauce, I feel like. Like, I think you can have something really unique and quite good. But as it is, it just doesn't fit anywhere. And the places it does sort of fit, like with the chicken strips, it wasn't awful. But the entire time I was wanting to not have that and have something else better. And that I think is kind of the end result of this. So I imagine this is going to linger in my door for quite some time. I don't know if I'm going to actually finish it or not. Probably not. It's just hard to figure where to use this. I've not found an application where I haven't. I think, yeah, that's exactly whatever food that was needed. I don't know, and I think it's just because you have that contrast and those two kind of conflicting flavors of the Louisiana style and the mustard going on. So I think if you're making a nice honey mustard, and then you have the cayenne in there as an accent, maybe you don't use the vinegar at all for the mustard and just make the mustard with like their hot sauce as the actual vinegar. So it's more of an accent than it is where it's strong enough to actually fight with the other flavors. I think that might be the approach there that actually is the more successful one, but it definitely is a unique flavor. I'll give it that. It's very novel. I can't say it's good. I can't say it's bad either. It just, like I said, it doesn't really fit anywhere because of that trying to have a foot in both worlds, and I think that it is ultimately to the detriment here of the sauce. So, but anyway, there you have it. The Kine Hawaiian hot mustard hot sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.